race here at the grand final round. It's looking down towards turn number 6. Will Brown's windscreen getting a bit of a wipe. The car's almost out of Parc Ferme now and getting set to be released back onto the circuit for the third and final race, the 21st race of the year in Car Sales TCR Australia Series. What a complex this is. We're about 120 kilometres to the southeast of downtown Adelaide. The track opened in 2018 and broke dirt for the first time in 2016, and so much more development, Aaron Noonan, to come over the next couple of years. The cars are now heading out to the grid.
Yeah, Matt, I can hear them all just leaving the lane, heading down this long front straight here at the Bend Motorsport Park, and with me is Michael Smith, General Manager of Motorsport from CAMS, and Paul Gates from Shannon's. And we've got some exciting news too, a continuation of this amazing relationship with the Nationals and Shannon's.
Yes, Aaron, we're signed for CAMS to go for another 2 years. It's been, this will be our 14th season that we've been sponsoring the Shannon's Nationals, and looking very excited.
Great list of categories that we've got coming for next season. The calendar, Michael, has been confirmed. Some great venues. Hey, there's still one that's left not announced just yet. Any inside word on where we're heading?
Just watch this space, Noons. We'll make some very exciting announcements in the coming weeks, but we're just thrilled to have Shannon's back. They've been with us since the very start, and this series has grown astronomically in the last few years in particular, and we're looking forward to continuing the race relationship and some very exciting racing and events next year.
Yeah, so where's that TBC on the calendar going to be? Can you give us... I mean, no one's watching. What's the go? They can't see us.
Just watch this space, everyone. Be very exciting.
All right, we'll keep an eye on the CAMS website in the lead up over the following weeks. We're getting ready for the final race of the season in the inaugural series of Car Sales TCR Australia. Fantastic news with CAMS and Shannon's continuing with this series for the next 2 years.
Almost.
And while we're on the subject of announcements, I'm with Sam Shahin from the Peregrine Group, the Shahin family, who've done a remarkable job with this venue. You only started turning the soil back in 2016, and now it's been voted Motorsport Facility of the Year on a global scale. Congratulations.
Thank you. Who would have thought, hey, right here in Australia. What an incredible honour. To be nominated along facilities like Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Canada, Skoda Motorsport in the Czech Republic, Audi's facility in Germany, ProDrive and Millbrook. These are just incredibly highly accomplished facilities, and we're competing against those right here from Australia.
The thing I love about it, Sam, is obviously as someone who is involved in, actually competes yourself, it's great for the racer, but it's great for those that are new to the game as well. People can come here. It's an experiential place, isn't it?
Absolutely, and this is what I love about events like this. I mean, this is grassroots motorsport. Everybody from competitors to spectators, it's just absolutely brilliant to see, and I hope in some small way we can contribute to promoting the development of grassroots motorsport in Australia.
You've done a great job. Well done.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
And you'll be pleased to know we were very well behaved when we went go-karting the other night here as well. That's the great.
I heard.
That's the great thing about it. Four-wheel drive track rallying and a whole lot more. Nolts.
He's got an amazing event coming up here too, Rusty, later in the year. The Bend Classic, December 7 and 8. We'll see some of the historic cars that raced here at the Adelaide Grand Prix days, and cars from right around Australia and the world will converge for the Bend Classic here. It's going to be another great event that adds to what's already an impressive itinerary of events that are coming here to this amazing facility. Well, the cars are heading to the grid. We teased a bit of a story during the race about the Renaults out there, and earlier in the weekend we did what we called a driver swap with James Moffat and our very own Cameron Van den Dungen.
We have something very exciting for you here at the Bend. It is the Renault Race-Off, and today we have James Moffat, winner in Supercars, podium finisher in TCR, winner in Carrera Cup, V8 Utes, Formula Ford and Lotus Trophy, and all-round nice guy. We're going to put him behind the wheel of the Renault Megane Trophy R. It's a road car, not a race car. Sound good?
Not bad.
We've got the Renault Megane TCR racing car. The racing driver will not drive the racing car. This bloke will drive the racing car. Cameron Van den Dungen, man who sells mattresses, improved production wannabe racing star, and sometimes pit lane reporter. Today, the challenge is the Bend Motorsport Park. The challenge is for Cameron in the TCR car to go faster than Moff in the road car. We're going to give Cameron 5 seconds in terms of the head start. So the benchmark time that you're all chasing is 2 minutes 20 that the road car is capable of. We'll let him have 5 seconds. If he can beat 2 minutes 25 in the TCR racing car, he wins. This cannot happen. This cannot happen. There is no way he's allowed to win. Gentlemen, to your cars. It's time for the Renault Rumble at the Ben Motorsport Park. This is a battle of the ages. The Renault Rumble. Vandenberg, he can't keep the car on the road. Moffat's putting the pressure on. He's off the road again. He's going to get him. He's going to get him. Come on, Moff. Stick it in there. So, the way that it finished, gentlemen, is that Cameron in the TCR race car crossed the line first. But we heard and we saw that there was a spin along the way.
There wasn't one.
And under...
Just one. No.
Okay, there was 2.
No, it was 2.5. Yeah.
So under that basis, it's a 5-second penalty for every spin. Therefore, it's 12.5-second penalty. Moff's the winner! Yes! Back to pit lane, mate.
And just like that, 30 minutes has disappeared and the cars are on the grid, waiting in anticipation for the final 14 laps. The siren has blown. Earlier, Rusty caught up with Aaron Cameron.
This young man is off the back of a breakthrough win in this sport, but little time to enjoy it. You've got to focus on this incredible fight for second now.
Yeah, last race of the year. Really want to round it up with another win, but also the main goal, beat Tony D.
Pull the pin and go for it.
Pretty much, yeah. Have a crack. Hopefully it comes off.
It's been a great weekend for him so far. Go get him.
Thanks, mate.
Well, Alexandra Whitley's on board the Actron Air Volkswagen Golf GTI. You had one of your best races of the season in that last one. What can you do in the last race of the season?
Yeah, we'll see. It's good to be racing the boys. They definitely give me a bit of shit. They're pretty rough, but it's all good fun. Hopefully we can just move forward and creep inside that top 10.
You look like you've really got your head around the Golf GTI now. You've been to this track before. How much of a help has it been to come back to a track where you've got some experience in the TCR cars?
Yeah, that's definitely been probably one of the best advantages for me coming back here, having raced here before. We did have some issues in practice though. Qualifying was basically our practice run, so good thing we had been here before, but it's been great. We have a little bit of data, a bit of footage that we could have looked over prior to the event, which has been a big help. Now,
it's the last race of the year. Is there anyone up there that you owe one to? Because this is your last chance in 2019.
Oh, where do I start? I'm going to need another set of hands. No, like, they're all good. I have a lot of respect for the guys that were racing. You know, we all want racing to win and we just want to make that position. So if I was in their shoes, we'd probably be doing the same thing. But I just would really like to get inside that top 10.
Good luck.
Thank you.
He might have the same name as F1 broadcaster James Allen, but this bloke's actually behind the wheel. How have you found the weekend so far?
It's definitely been very interesting, Greg. It's been sort of up and down all weekend. I had some issues in race one, but today I got on the grid and got started, and it was good fun.
Your teammate, or the stablemate, I guess you could say, and Dylan O'Keefe has had a tough weekend so far, but you haven't suffered the same sort of issues?
No, not yet. I haven't had any real mechanical issues. It hasn't been too much of a problem. I feel terrible for him, though. He was fighting for second place in the championship, and it's just all got down the toilet for him.
Is it one off only here at Taylor Bend, or is there perhaps good plans for 2020 to be a part of this?
I mean, Europe's the priority at the moment, so I think if it all matches up, then I could see myself coming here for some TCR, yeah.
It's been great to have you a part of it. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're doing some great stuff over in the IMSA WeatherTech series as well, James Allen. We're riding in car with Will Brown, who we believe had some clutch issues getting this car off the line, but it's moving and mobile now as the cars are on the formation lap. Let's get a quick update from the pits with Cam.
Yeah, several updates from down here, guys. Button Moore, it was a fuel pump. They've changed that. He'll start from pit lane. As for Dylan O'Keefe, he will not take part in this race as a result of the damage. Will Brown, they still not sure whether that clutch is going to work for him or not.
Well, lucky it's happened in the final round. That series all wrapped up for Will Brown. So Dylan O'Keefe not starting this one, scheduled to start out of position 19 with the sole DNF for that last race. But the focus will be on the Rondo sponsored number 30 of the man who wrapped up this year's crown. And he'll start alongside Aaron Cameron for this one. Greg Rust has made the big dash from pit lane back up into the commentary box. We've had 20 races so far this year, 8 different winners. That was our 8th one in the previous race. What has this final one got for us?
Fitness is not my strong point, neither is mathematics, but we have more points on offer, as we always have in the third and final race of the weekend. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is race 21 of 21. What a year. Matt's covered off the variety of winners that we've had. This guy adding to the list just half an hour ago. Typically, in races 1 and 2, we have 40 points up for grabs for each of those race wins. But for the final one of the weekend, it's 50. So 1 point separates Tony D'Alberto and Aaron Cameron in the fight for second position in this series. Will Brown, he's checked out. He's got 701 points, can't be beaten. We know he's got some clutch issues in this race. But Tony D has 531. He's a little bit worried about his straight line speed or handling here. Aaron Cameron starts from pole position. He has 530. And $50,000 prize money to play for second in the series. And that man there in that VW Golf GTI has his eyes squarely on it. Noons?
Hey, Rusty, just before this race, I spoke to Joe Sasso, Russell Ingles' engineer. It's been a really rough weekend for all of the Audi RS3s. I said, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's grumpy for him? 11.
He's a competitor. He's in his mid-50s, and he still attacks the race weekend like a 21-year-old, like that young guy that did Formula Ford all those years ago, that left South Australia and went to Europe and did great things and came back with Larry Perkins and conquered Bathurst, won supercars with the Stone Brothers, of course. Here's the final round of the championship. Set for a start now. can Aaron Cameron get second in the series? Will Brown, with those clutch issues, doesn't struggle off the line. He's away in the Hyundai, I should say, but it's the Hondas. Look at them in the background. Look at this fight here. The Alfa Romeo of Jordan Cox. Cameron's been swamped here. Cox will lead them from the Renault. On cold tyres. Brave stuff from Moff. Aurélien Comte in the Peugeot P11, I think, at the moment. I'm worried about where the Hondas are at the same time, Matt. I'm trying to figure out what that means in championship terms. Oh, sideways again. Was that Pither in the Renault? So they're all attacking on cold tyres here.
We have a selection of photographers, and I'm sure they were down at turn number 1 with arguably the picture of the year just then. They were 4 and 5 wide heading down to turn number 1, but when the dust settled, Jordan Cox leads this motor race down the backside of the circuit for the first time in the final race of this year's Car Sales TCR Australia Series. You're watching the Peugeot 308 of Frenchman Aurélien Comte coming through the field now. He's up to 11th position already.
Tony D'Alberto was in position 10 the last time through. Here's Ingle. Hustles out wide. That's Allen. So, welcome to racing with Russell Ingle. He plays hard, James. You'll have to... Where we go. Back to the front. It's another Alfa Romeo in the hands of Jordan Cox, leading the way from Moffat off the back of that Sandown 500 podium. Then the two I-30s, the teammates from HMO Customer Racing. Will Brown, our champion-elect, and Nathan Morecambe on board with Brown now. Car 30. Mighty stuff from Jordan Cox in the early phase of this race. Aaron Cameron sits position 5. His main rival in that fight for second in the championship, we believe, is down in 15th place. We'll confirm that for you. Tony D'Alberto, what's going on with the Civic? John Martin, his teammate, is 9th, we believe. Let's get an update. Cam?
Jason Bright has a broken anti-roll bar, Jason Bright, so he is not going to be a contender in this race.
Oh, it's all happening, isn't it? In the final race of the year, through turn number 1, Cameron about to be passed by Andre Heimgartner through turn 2 and 3.
But they'll be telling him, they'll be keeping him up to speed on the radio at Melbourne Performance Centre about where his rival is. Tony D'Alberto in 15th. Noons?
Rusty, you're exactly on the money. That's exactly what they've done at Melbourne Performance Centre. They know where D'Alberto is. They know that he doesn't need to fight with Heimgartner or Comte who's behind in that Peugeot. They've told him you just need to run where you are and you'll get a job done. They know where that number 50 Honda is. They know where the number 2 Volkswagen is. Right now it's looking good for them. He just needs to keep his head and not get in any battles.
Well done. So at the moment, Heimgartner sits in 6th. Aaron Cameron is 7th. There they are. The Astra in the hands of the Kiwi and our winner just half an hour ago. Race is being led by Jordan Cox. Wouldn't he love to book a win here at the Ben Motorsport Park?
That will give Cameron a 15-point lead to go into second position for the outright. While we're doing the numbers behind the scenes, Heimgartner with Aaron Cameron just behind. Started on the front row, converted second position into a race win earlier today. It's down the hill towards turn number 17. Jordan Cox, James Moffat in the charge and in the slipstream as he steps the right rear up into turn 17 and around and complete another lap. Still trying to get over what happened in that first corner. That was incredible.
Look at Comte. He's up into 8th place. The Frenchman in the Peugeot is up into 8th position. Tremendous. They've been on the back foot with that car all weekend. No running in official practice. Didn't get to take part in qualifying or race 1. Hurriedly installed a new wiring loop. There's the brains trust in the Peugeot outfit there. It's just the one car here this weekend. Our 10th different make on the grid. Greg Crick closer to screen there on the radio with Jordan Cox, we should point out too. So great experienced guy to have in your corner. But well done. They worked until about 1:30 this morning to get that Peugeot right. We're starting to see what it's like in the hands of the talented Frenchman. Noons?
Hey, Rusty, I've just stopped in at the Task Force VW team. Jason Bright, that Volkswagen Golf GTI. He's got a broken anti-roll bar that he suffered in the last race. There wasn't the time to get it sorted for the last race with this one, so he's just trying to hold position. But you can probably expect the car 8 is going to struggle to stay where it is at the moment on the fringe of the 10.
And while we were getting that update, Will Brown he's struggling a little bit here. Lost a spot to his teammate Nathan Morecambe. Here's a replay, actually a replay. And Pither trying to sneak up the inside too. Look at that cheeky left wheel off the deck for the Renault Megane.
It's been a popular passing spot for Nathan Morecambe today down there at turn 6 on the Actron Air replay. It's up the hill at turn number 13. The addition of the tyre bollard on the right-hand side. It's really tight in that corner up. Cox to the top here. James Moffat in tow. They come back down the hill here at the Ben Motorsport Park. So D'Alberto has gone up to 12th position, while Aaron Cameron is 7th. The gap is 10 points between the two of them. Advantage to Cameron off the track is Russell Ingall. And that's at the top. It was high speed for the Castrol Melbourne Performance Audi.
Just looking at that left rear on the Audi just to see if it's at the right angle. Love to know what triggered that. No doubt we'll get a replay. But in that exchange we saw a moment ago too, where Morecambe was able to get by Will Brown. I wonder if there's a bit of, you know, it wasn't a complete gimme. It looked easy on the replay, but that would be nice for Nathan to have a top 3 finish, given how fast he was in the previous race, and he's flashing the lights once again.
Becoming a bit of a habit down towards turn number 1. Meantime, here comes the Frenchman. He's got Tony D'Alberto just behind. Ian McDougall also in the mix, and just ahead is Jason Bright, who's nursing the Task Force entry around for this race.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about. So what has happened there? Is that through contact? Oh, wow.
That's on the circuit. Trying to pick up how far up the circuit it is towards the top of the hill there. That's on that little short straight between turn 13 and 14. Here's the Actron Air replay, and we catch it as the Castrol car was spinning out of control across the grass here.
What we need is the lead up to that story. So did that happen on its own, or was there something that's contributed to it? And even if we can't find it in vision terms, I know the boys in the lane will be straight onto that with Melbourne Performance Centre. That is very uncharacteristic. You never see stuff like that from Russell Ingall, no way. So clearly the spring we saw on the road is a big part of that story. Morecambe looks hungry for second place here. The Hyundai versus the Renault Megane. Moff will not make that easy, and in the meantime it's all good for Jordan Cox up in front.
Just under a second is the lead, but so many battle packs to talk about here as Ingall limps the Castrol car back into the pits. We jump in car with Will Brown. This is the most amount of cars he's seen out the windscreen for all weekend here at the Ben Motorsport Park. The 21-year-old from Toowoomba, who's just been racking up race wins. He's been racking up the fans this year as well. They've got behind this young gun, and now he applies the pressure down at turn 17 as we start the 4th lap and the final race of the year.
Is he just bringing this car home, perhaps nursing it through a little bit of an issue, because Chris Pither, who's fast, I should point out too, quickest in the first sector, the Kiwi is flying in the second of the Meganes, has moved up into 4th position, changed the engine in that car overnight. Now Morecambe for second place on Moffat. Great job by Nathan Morecambe. Moff's better position for the next corner. Gets the elbows out and retains P2. Terrific.
That's going to put Morecambe up into 4th position. That's why they're doing this, I think. Let him go. Get as many points as he can with Dylan O'Keefe not starting the race. This will advance him to 4th in the series. Cameron side by side on Heimgartner through turn 5. Gets it done at a really fast part of this track.
Says they have made the rear in that VW Golf a lot more predictable this weekend here at the Ben Motorsport Park. Cameron playing it safe at the moment, eyes squarely on second in this championship. Aaron?
Rusty, I've just ducked in the Melbourne Performance Centre garage Russell Ingall has jumped out of the Castrol Audi and has headed straight through the garage, straight to the truck. He's not a happy man. I just got a quick word with Joe Sasso, his engineer, and it sounds like there was some contact that caused what's broken on the left rear of this Audi. So tough run for MPC with these cars, but still good news for Aaron Cameron in that Volkswagen. He's still in that position that he needs to be in.
Nunes, thank you. Oh, man.
More dramas now for Moffat. We saw him slowing as he went to Aaron Noonan in the pits, and now the car has come to a stop. It's off the circuit. It's on the GT circuit here at the Ben Motorsport Park.
Did something come off it as well? What happened?
Saw something rolling away from the car. It slowed when Morecambe went down the inside him through that fast complex of turn 8-9, but he's in the middle of that turn and off the circuit. What a shame.
It allows his teammate up into third position, Chris Pither. Nathan Morecambe comfortably in second, and with the fastest lap of the race, I might add, so far, a 1:57.48. So is Morecambe, who's 1.7 seconds behind Jordan Cox, any chance of challenging for the win with less than 9 to go now? Final race of what's been an epic first season of Car Sales TCR Australia. We hope you've enjoyed it. And the good news is there's even bigger, brighter, better things planned for 2020.
More Actron Air replays here. This was Moff. Now into the right-hander, and there's a bump in that onboard replay. And you can hear it scratching away and just pulls it to the left-hand side at a very, very fast point of the circuit through that right-hander and parks it up. His season is done in Car Sales TCR Australia.
I'm no audio technician, but you could hear the sound the car was making too. So we'll get Cam or Nunes onto that one as well. Jordan Cox continues to lead, but the advantage has come down to 1.3 seconds. Nathan Morecambe is charging in that Hyundai. Eyes on a race win here. Can he do it? Cox would love to achieve that as well in that Alfa Romeo. He's got lots of experienced people around him. We know how good he is in front-wheel drive cars. So a couple of other stories. Title might be safely in Will Brown's pocket while others are fighting for second in the series. People like Jordan Cox and Nathan Morecambe don't care. They just want a race win.
All about the W in the final race.
The W.
Across the top of the hill and into turn 14. Aaron Cameron, who's hanging tough there in 5th position behind Brown. Tony D'Alberto's got himself back up into position 8, and a new lap record for Chris Pither, 1:57.13. In these conditions, 200ths quicker than what we saw for Will Brown.
Don't you just love the way that race drivers are kind of chameleons at times? Chris Pither's one of the most gentle-natured, kind guys you will ever meet. Stick a helmet on, put him in a race car, and what happens? He's an animal. At the moment, 1:57.133. He might break into the 56s. Pither is flying in that Renault Megane. It's 1.3 seconds. They'll have messaged him. Greg Crick will have been on the radio to Jordan Cox and said, hey, Morecambe's fast. You've got to up the game here. Hang on to that race lead. Nunes?
Rusty, I just stopped in at GRM and had a quick chat to Bruin Beasley, the team manager for their TCR program, and asked what's happened to James Moffat's Renault. He said he hasn't said anything, so they're a bit puzzled here as to what's happened with car 34, but right now they're all in on the number 7 Alpha here at the GRM garage because it is all in on the racetrack as well.
And it's a great day out for this car and for the 7 that continues to lead the race by 1.2 seconds. Chris Pither, remember, started from 19th in the second race today after an engine change in the Renault Megane overnight, charged his way inside the top 10, and it's just slicing through him right now. 3rd position ahead of Brown, Cameron, Heimgartner, John Martin, Tony D'Alberto, Jason Bright, and Aurelian Comte is now in position number 10 aboard that Peugeot 308.
Need to watch the recovering Tony D'Alberto. Remember, he was down in 15th or thereabouts at one point early in this race. Is back to position 8, and the guy that he's fighting with for second in the series, Aaron Cameron, sits position 5. It would give Cameron the advantage, potentially one hand on that briefcase with 50k. The young man wants it. D'Alberto, with all of that experience, says, I'm not giving up on this one easily.
It's 8 points now between the two of them. Advantage to Cameron with 7 11 laps remaining at the end of this one. We check in with the Wall Racing teammates. There is D'Alberto with all the work to do, chasing John Martin. You'd have to say there's going to be an indicator here at some point.
Tony, David Wall on the line for you. Johnny.
Sorry, you're breaking up. I can't hear you.
That's right.
Brown and Cameron argue down at 18. These guys down in 4th and 5th position. The man to keep an eye on, though, is Chris Pither, the fastest out of these 3 cars on that lap. But Jordan Cox completes another lap, and for the 8th time in this race, Nathan Morecambe is going to flatten the battery if he keeps doing that.
Pither is right on his tail too, Matt. So she's game on here in the final race of the year. Look at how fast that McGahn looks. Pither's in the mix here. Morecambe has reduced the advantage to less than a second. 0.8 now to Jordan Cox. There it is. There's your real scenario with the top 3. You can see the gaps. Will Brown holding on to that 4th place. Aaron Cameron ideally would love to clear Will Brown. That might help him just a little bit more breathing space in the fight for second. Brown's not going to give them that easily, particularly with Nathan. Oh, off goes Jordan Cox. Jordan has left the track in the Alfa Romeo in the lead. Nathan Morecambe leads here at the Ben Motorsport Park.
Was that a failure on the front left? It was limping down as he went across the track. That corner has claimed another car. And can you believe that? Jordan Cox has parked it here, halfway home in the race.
Oh, inside, we go inside HMO Customer Racing.
Put Nathan Morecambe into the lead, and they know that. It puts Pither up to 2nd, Brown to 3rd, Cameron into 4th, and Heimgartner now goes into position 5. Well, how could you write a script in the finale of this series?
You couldn't. 2 Hyundais in the top 3, so this is tremendous for Nathan Morecambe as well. Pither senses he might be able to snag a win in that Renault Megane. They've had a huge activation here this weekend with journos here driving Renault Megane road cars. That'd be a nice way to cap off the season. Pither has the fastest lap of the race, a 57.133. 0.6 behind Nathan Morecambe. We go inside HMO Customer Racing, bottom right of your screen. Morecambe family in there. Aaron Cameron sits in 4th. Tony D'Alberto 7th. Matt Nolte has never worked the abacus so hard in his life.
Stays at 8 points after all of that. But we see some movers down the field. It puts Morecambe inside into 4th. That'll confirm 4th in the championship. But 2nd is still on. It's 8 points. D'Alberto needs to get past Martin. But there's still a further 7 seconds away from Heimgartner in this race.
A couple of other yarns further down the order too. Matt Conti has only been able to get that Peugeot to 10th. And James Allen's ahead of him in that Alfa Romeo, and Jason Bright in the VW Golf. They are not giving him an easy run of it.
Now looking at our screen, looks like D'Alberto's got past Martin as well. While we ride in car with Brown. 6 laps to go. A very nervous 6 laps for the battle in 2nd in the series. Morecambe and Pither, 1st and 2nd, covered by less than half a second. Turn number 13. Let's go back to the pits.
Garage where it's good news for Chris Pither. He's forging forward, but Greg Creek, Jordan Cox. What's going on with that Alfa? That all seemed a bit strange.
Flat tyre, and I think he probably clipped a bit of carbon that came off Russell Ingall's car a few laps back. We saw him hit it on the television screen, so you don't need to assume that's punch at a tyre.
Which one? Front? Rear?
Yeah, front tyre. Yeah. One of those things, he did a great job. He's doing everything right, and he was just controlling the gap back to Morecambe, and anyway, that's life, isn't it? It's motor racing, as they say.
It is. It's been great to have you part of GRM and TCR this year. Coming back next year?
I hope so. If I I can deal with blokes like him, I'll be back. It's fantastic.
It's been great to have you here, bad luck in this final race.
Yeah, thank you.
I've got Barry Morecambe here at the moment, Nathan out in front. Slightly nerve-wracking time for you?
Yeah, well, the cars have been good, you know. It was a shame he had a problem yesterday because his car was really fast. So yep, no, it's all good. They're good cars, so it's got to stay where they are.
Now, it's last race of the year. It's been a great year for you. What does next year hold?
Well, we definitely have 2 Hyundais and maybe 3, 4, not sure.
All right, well, let's keep an eye out. You've got one for me, Barry. We'll work this out later.
Never an opportunity to miss a deal.
Man.
Cameron Vandenduggen. Yeah, have helmet and business card. We'll travel. Back to Nathan Morecambe.
Wow. His comments, and that one was up there with the silly ones I've heard of the year.
Meantime, this is on here with less than 5 to go in the championship, in the series for season 20. What a juxtaposition that was. The stricken car of James Moffat with the bonnet up. Meantime, his teammate Chris Pither fighting with the Hyundai of Nathan Morecambe for the win. On the edge of our seats here, the fight for second place. Aaron Cameron sits position 4th. Good job, Tony D'Alberto. He's got to P6. So we'll keep an eye on that with a handful of laps to go.
He needs a safety car. 7.5 seconds is the gap, though, to Heimgartner. And he'll need to get past Cameron and get to second, or hope that Cameron DNS. How many more scenarios going to fit in the space of 30 seconds? But these two guys just swapping fastest laps now. Nathan Morecambe responds with the fastest ever lap, 1:57.05 on the 9th lap. We complete lap number 10. And we start to head towards the business end of the final race of car sales, TCR Australia. Great crowd up on top of the balcony, giving you the best view of the Ben Motorsport Park here on a Sunday afternoon.
They're car enthusiasts too, and they're excited about S5000 coming up. Stick around, you'll get that live. They've all been hovering around the back of the garages to hear those V8 open wheelers. Meantime, we've got a bit on here, ladies and gentlemen. How about the drive of the champion, Will Brown? Some issues to contend with, holding down 3rd. Meantime, his teammate leads this race. We could have 2 Hyundais in the top 3 for the final race of the year. And in the mix, Aaron Cameron, just hopeful of maybe clearing Brown and getting another couple of points in that chase for 50 grand. For second place, is there a drama here for the little bit of smoke?
Oh, no.
Coming, little bit of smoke coming from the Renault. Here's the keen observers, left of your screen, Anton Di Pasquale. That is perfect hair central right there, ladies and gentlemen. and right beside him is Thomas Randall, 2 fast young drivers. We'll look forward to seeing those guys at the wheel of the S5000 cars very soon.
I think Anton ran to the garage, though, the way the hair's got the aerodynamic efficiency. Now the bonnet's starting to lift on Nathan Morecambe's car. We just saw that lift on the way to turn 13. So we've got a bit of smoke we saw at the turn 8, 9, 10 region for the Pither car, but I just saw the bonnet just lift on the number 11.
Will that right front bonnet pin hold? If they've broken a left front bonnet pin, we just don't want that to fly up with the run to the flag. Here we've got less than 4 laps remaining. Nathan Morecambe.
Could there be?
Yeah, no smoke either for the Renault now. I don't know what that was before. It had me a little nervous. I'm sorry, folks.
Seemed to have cleared itself. They come through to complete a lap. This is where we'll tell if there's any more to this story with the number 11. Is there any more twist to the saga of the final race? We have 3 laps remaining at the Ben Motorsport Park. In a thrilling end to the series, someone just went past, sounding awful. It sounded like a tractor going past the commentary box. I'm not sure who that was. It's inside the top 5. So maybe our boys down the scene can pick that up. Actron Air replay now. In car with Andre Heimgartner. That's Aaron Cameron ahead. And the 777.
Wow.
Makes the move, so that's a big change. He goes up in a fourth spot with that one.
And that means that Cameron is only one place in front of Tony D'Alberto. We'll double check the leaderboard for you. Wow. There you go. So Aaron Cameron, P5. Tony D'Alberto is fighting with everything he's got. The DJR Team Penske Enduro driver, who's been part of the Wall Racing lineup, loving running that Honda Civic Type R this year. He's giving it his all. Tony D.
Back to 6 points with that now. And Heimgartner, he pulls ahead. Aaron Cameron has 2.7 seconds to Tony D'Alberto. Oh boy, Noons, this is building.
It is. I've just ducked into Melbourne Performance Centre. Blake Smith and Troy Russell are here. I don't want to dive in. I know Blake's busy here. Is that your car 2 that's off song?
Yeah, he's reported a loss of power. So at the moment, we're just trying to bring it home. That'll probably hand P2 to Tony D, but it's the way it is. It's Motorsport. He would have his bad luck earlier in the year, and we've got ours now.
Is this a question of whether it can finish or a question of where it finishes?
Who knows, but it's whether it can finish at the moment for us. So just limp it home, short shift, try and take a bit of load out of it, and only 2 or 3 laps here, so just hopefully it hangs on for us.
All right, thanks, Blake. There he is, Blake Smith, guys. Fingers crossed here down at Melbourne Performance Centre. $50,000 is on the line for them to finish runner-up in the series. This has been an amazing year. It's got a few twists and turns left, huh, boys?
Great work, Noons. Man, our hearts sank here. Here we go. So Cameron fighting with Tony D'Alberto, but it's with one arm behind his back, as you've just heard. D'Alberto will get back in front. That move could be for 50 grand cash and second in the series. Can you believe it? Cameron won the second last race of the season. He's being swamped here.
He'll drop 2 positions, and that will put D'Alberto back into second position. Just like that. You've got to feel for him. I heard the car go past. I couldn't tell which one it was at the time. I didn't want to jump to conclusions, but it was definitely an engine off song, and it's the number 2.
Oh, the young man who's come through karting. It's a great story for karting in this country to have a pin-up driver like that that's gone on to do good things in TCR, and wouldn't that 50 grand have been great for him for season 2020? He's just watched it disappear. It looks like second may go to Tony D'Alberto in season 2019. Nathan Morecambe, can he hold on for the race win for the HMO Customer Racing Team? Has Chris Pither got a little something up his sleeve? He knows what it takes to piece together a championship and race wins with success in the development series. He's done a good job as an endurance driver. At the moment, the Hyundai seems to have the upper hand.
Just gives him a spray of dust through turn 13 as well, trying to prevent any attack. It'll be 1 lap to go in 2 turns' time for Nathan Morecambe, whose best result was second at the start of the year for the HMO Customer Racing Team. Chris Pither is not going down without a fight here. So we enter the final lap of season 2019 in Car Sales TCR Australia.
Brown can cruise in the background there and just bring that car home in third. Perfect way to wrap up a wonderful year for one of the real characters, emerging stars of Australian motorsport. The wins he's enjoyed in a relatively short career, from Toyota 86s, Formula 4, now this, the high points so far. He's got a bright future in front of him, no doubt about that. But it's his teammate. Look at that bonnet. That bonnet holding on.
That's about the spot of the track. We picked it up before, down at turn number 6, out of the hairpin, and just over half a lap remaining. Morecambe, Pither, they've got 4 seconds back to Will Brown. So HMO Customer Racing looking to get on the podium in first and third position. That will follow the race. Heimgartner, D'Alberto, Martin, Bright, James Allen, Aaron Cameron is still surviving, but is back in 9th, and will have to settle for 3rd in this year's Car Sales TCR Australia Series. kind of threat from anybody else around as they go past the stricken number 34 car. He's flashing the headlights, but for a good reason this time, Nathan Morecambe, as he climbs the top of turn 13 on the final lap.
Well, you can tell from the body language of the Pither car that he's thrown everything at this as he chases Nathan Morecambe. In that final sector here at the Ben Motorsport Park, Hyundai's likely to wrap up the year with a first and third in race 21 of 21 for our inaugural year. Tony D'Alberto in 5th place and looking like sealing second for the season. We'll wrap up a beautiful first year in this sport with Nathan Morecambe taking it out of the Ben Motorsport Park. Well done to Chris Pither in the Renault. And here is your champion, Will Brown, for season 2019.
And now he can officially celebrate. He's got another race to come before he can party. There's Tony D'Alberto. What a return. After dropping as low as 15th, folks, in this race, charged his way back up and got the job done in 5th and will secure 2nd in the series. And it's not over in the finish line. Cameron's going to lose another couple of positions because the Frenchman, Aurélien Comte, will get home for 8th. Tim Brook in 9th. Good result for the Garage 1 team. And Aaron Cameron limps home, but 10th place is all he can do with that 6-sounding number 2 after victory in race number 2. But how about this guy, our 9th winner of the year, Nathan Morecambe. Puts a bow tie on this year's series. What's been a belter of a championship.
Yeah.
Car Sales TCR Australia, 2nd appearance at the Bend, and Nathan Morecambe picks up the win.
Underline, highlight, underscore, whatever you want to call it. Belter is the word for it, and it finishes that way. Another winner on the list. Congratulations, Nathan Morecambe. Chris Pither fought brilliantly, and Will Brown is the champion, our first ever in TCR Australia. Andre Heimgartner, well, he finishes 4th. Some encouraging signs from the Holden Astra, and Tony D'Alberto, runner-up in this series in 2019.
Incredible. Jason Bright got that car home for 7th position. Aurélien Comte from the back of the field over the page. Alexandra Whitley in 11th. Ian McDougall 12th. Matt Simmons in 13th. Jordan Coxwell, another of the many hard luck stories of this race. James Moffat retiring as well. Russell Ingall, maybe it was that contact early in the race that caused the breakage on the Castrol Melbourne Performance Centre Audi. And now party time for Will Brown.
Grabs that handbrake and celebrates in style. Some skids for Will Brown. He can't really completely cut loose because he's about to jump in an S5000 car. His racing for the weekend isn't done. This young man from Toowoomba will party hard tonight, and the celebrations have already started. It's a huge tick for him, isn't it? It's a great thing to add to the CV. And if you perhaps missed it before the start of this race, we caught up with him earlier in the weekend. He will head overseas, maybe for a little appearance next year. He talked about, heading over to chat with some executives overseas in the off-season once everything's wrapped up. Wouldn't it be great to see him having a race somewhere on the international scene in one of these cars next year? Noons?
They're just rolling back here into the pit lane. Chris Pither, what a fight back from him in the Renault Megane. The HMO customer racing team are going to see Will Brown. They've pulled the champion up down underneath the podium. We'll hand out some trophies very, very soon. But it's his teammate. It's Nathan Morecambe's day today because he's broken through for his first race win. He's been guided into victory lane. I'm standing right behind the number 1 board, and he doesn't hit it. He's very respectful compared to his teammate who bashes into that board every time. We'll soak this up as Nathan steps on out. He's been successful in so many categories and so many cars. He started the year with a tough one in Sydney. But for HMO Customer Racing, they get another race win to finish off the year. Bob Riley's here as well. I'll dive on in here to have a chat. Nathan Morecambe, TCR race winner. That sounds good.
Bloody awesome, especially the way we ended yesterday with DNF was fly back through the field and get the win on the last race of the year is awesome. Credit to all the boys who put the car back together yesterday. They did exceptionally well and the car was fast all weekend.
We'll let you take your helmet off. Let's have a look here. I'll get Rich, our cameraman, to have a quick look at the front of this car. Did you know that this bonnet was flapping loose there?
Nah, no clue.
Oh, well, that's probably better. No stress. He managed to bring it home and didn't know and didn't care. So there you go. A win for the Hyundai i30N. We'll head to second place, GRM, with the Renault Megane. Chris Pither, who has had to pass some serious cars today, my friend, and you get on the podium finally. It's been a rough, dirty season. I guess this makes it worthwhile.
Yeah, I guess that was what they say is try and win it or win it. It was the last race of the year and I needed a podium, you know. It's been tough, not just for me, but for the whole Gary Rogers Renault team. They've been putting in the hours throughout the year, and it's nice to finally come home with a podium. We've seen glimpses throughout the year of the ingredients, but we've been hampered constantly, so nice to get one finally.
Well done.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.
There he is, Chris Pither, and the man who finished in P3. He is numero uno for the year. I'll make my way down through the people here. Will Brown, congrats on the podium again. You're the champion officially. We don't have to say champion-elect anymore. You've got it done.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. The team have done a great job all year. I'm really happy, and wasn't the last two races we wanted. We struggled a little bit with car setup, but pretty cool. I tried a reverse entry out to checker flag and end up in the gravel, so no, it was good. Yeah, like I say, I can't thank the team enough. Barry Morecambe from who owns HMO for giving me the drive this year. It's been fantastic.
Well done. Great job. You're not done though. Go get in that S5000 a bit later on.
Yeah, thank you. Cheers.
Great drive. Will Brown, the series champion. Congratulations to Nathan Morecambe and 8 victories to Hyundai and HMO Customer Racing. And there it is. It'll hang up on the wall proudly. We'll take a short break. The podium not too far away from the Ben Motorsport Park. Started with so much anticipation at Sydney Motorsport Park early this year, and now the first number one applied to the windscreen of Will Brown. He is your series champion in car sales TCR Australia for season 2019 as they regroup for the 2020 season. It's time for our podium for race 21, the final race of this year. Here's Greg Rust.
Welcome to the round 7 race 3 podium presentation for car sales TCR Australia, our final podium in an epic first year. A big thanks to our series sponsors, car sales, Astron Tech, Actron Air, Michelin and Panther Fuel. Presenting the trophies for the race will be Jared Bowler from Panther Fuel Australia. In third place today, ladies and gentlemen, he fought with one hand behind his back, but it was a gallant effort from HMO Customer Racing. Make some noise in the Hyundai for Will Brown. Second position this afternoon, driving the Renault McGann. He gave it his all for Gary Rogers Motorsport. Give it up for Chris Pither. And yet another name joins our impressive winners list in 2019. In first position this afternoon for HMO Customer Racing, Nathan Morecambe. And now, ladies and gentlemen, a very special moment in our final podium presentation for the year, the awarding of the Champion Trophy, fittingly done today from the Peregrine Group, the man who has done such a great job in building this facility, Sam Sheehan, to deliver the trophy to Will Brown from HMO Customer Racing. And that means only one thing. It's time to celebrate, gentlemen. The podium is yours.
What a scene. Well done to Nathan Morecambe. Well done to Chris Pither as well on his best result on the podium. And to that guy picking up the Car Sales TCR Australia Series crown in Will Brown. We'll squeeze a short break in here. As you can see, the rumble of S5000 is heading to the grid. Their race is coming. This